get out of your head and stop worrying about what people think, because 9 times out of 10 people not thinking about you, for one. And for two, people who do think negatively about you because you set boundaries and enforce them, or you simply say no, that says more about their character than it does yours. And at the end of the day, are those really people that you should be caring about their opinions? Hey babe, welcome back to my channel. I'm Egypt Rodriguez, and I'm super excited you decided to join me because this channel was created for you. If you are a woman who is currently on a journey of self-improvement, you have come to the right place. On this channel, we discuss self-care, personal growth and development, relationships, and of course, faith. This is where faith meets femininity and the glow up is God-led. We are becoming her in his image. If I could talk to my younger self, this is everything that I would tell her, okay? So make sure you grab a pen, grab a notepad, and take notes, babe, because the glow up starts now. Last month, your girl turned 30, okay? 30, and I am looking and feeling better than ever. Upon me having a birthday and growing older, it's kind of a period where you look back and you start to reflect, because this was not just a birthday. This was my 30th birthday. And so I literally am in a new decade now. Shifting from your teens, you know, because even when you're 18, 19, really until you like 25, 26, to me, now that I'm 30, I can speak on it and say you really still are like a child in a way. Like, you don't make the best decisions. You're just really not that smart. Your frontal lobe is not developed, and that don't mean that you're not book smart or that you're not grown and paying bills. Trust me, when you get to this age, you will look back and be like, okay, I get what she's talking about. So, you know, just looking back, just thinking like, wow, I'm in a whole new decade, and looking back at the last decade and thinking, what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? You know, I never had a big sister. I've always wanted sisters. I don't really have sisters like that I'm close with and I talk to. And so I, you know, kind of had to learn a lot through trial and error. And so let's consider this a big sis talk. I'm about to give you all the details. I'm about to give you all the tea. And even if you are not in your 20s, babe, you might still want to watch this, okay? Because what I realized is that age is not just a number, it's also a mentality. And there are a lot of women who are in their 30s, who are in their 40s, and even their 50s and beyond, who still have the mentality of someone in their 20s. Wherever you are in life, whether you are physically in your 20s or whether you are mentally in your 20s, you will get great information from this video. And so let's go ahead and get into it, because I'm ready. Y'all ready? Okay. First things first, I don't care what nobody says. Decenter men. Decenter men. Decenter men. Even though the world and society has gotten so much more advanced and like women can do things and like run things, like it's still very much a patriarchal society. And so we are taught as women to kind of revolve our lives around a man. We're taught we need to know how to cook and clean and keep a house for a man, not just because, you know, it's basic survival skills or basic living, how you should be living. Like, we are training our girls from the time that they're young to literally center their ways and their life around men. Everybody at some point is raised that way, unless you're raised by a woman who has kind of got out of the matrix and she's like teaching you and training you certain things. You are literally most likely male-centered. Your whole life is basically revolving around a man, like always wanting to look put together because, you know, you never know who might see you. Like, no, how about you look put together because you should be presenting your best self forward at all times. For the longest time, I didn't really know like my identity. I didn't know who I was. And so it kind of was just like, if my man at the time said he liked this and he wanted me to do this and this is how I had to act and this is how I had to behave, then that's who I became, because I was so male-centered on top of not having my own identity, or not knowing, because we all have our own identity, but it's just like I didn't know what that was. So like I was just very male-centered, and because of that, I lost friendships, I lost money, I lost business, I lost so much, and it just was not worth it at all looking back. I'm not saying we don't need men, because I don't know about y'all, but I need my men, okay? I need my men, okay? But de-center men to the point where you are not making men an idol, where you're not craving attention from men all the time, where it's not always like, I remember I had a friend and it's like every time we went out, oh girl, we gotta go out and find a man, and it's like, girl, you don't want to just hang with me? We can't never just hang out and have a good time. It's always about a man. You know, please don't be that girl. Don't, because you only gonna look back later in life and you're gonna regret it, okay? Decenter men. I feel like, you know, this is something that we really got to go dive deep into, because a lot of women sometimes don't even know that they're male-centered. And yeah, we're gonna have to do a video on that. Let me know if you want that video down in the comments below. Moving right along to number 2, and this really needs to be number 1, because I feel like if you make this number 1, a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you on this list will literally just make more sense, and it will just fall into place, right? But number 2 is going to be build a relationship with God. I don't care how crazy it looks. I don't care what people say about it, what they say, oh, you're a Bible thumper, you're this, you're that. Listen, it's never a bad thing to love God. It's never a bad thing to love Jesus. We literally are living in the last times. It literally is the end of the world. The world is about to end. Right now, as I'm recording this video, it could just, and my clothes just be right here. You know what I'm saying? He could just call us all home. Like, stuff is getting so crazy. You literally need to build a relationship with God. I am telling you, once you build a relationship with God, your life gets better. I didn't say it gets easier, okay? That doesn't mean you won't have spiritual warfare. That doesn't mean that you won't face trials and tribulations. It don't mean that people won't talk about you. If anything, they're gonna talk about you more. You're gonna lose some friends. You might lose some relationships. You might lose some people you love. But it's a certain type of peace that comes along with building a relationship with God and following God. And it's a certain type of like just knowing that no matter what, I'm okay. No matter what, I'm taken care of. If I lose my house today or tomorrow, God got me. If I lose my car, my man, my friends, whatever, God got me. Like, I can't explain it unless you've had that encounter with God. Like, I'm talking about a real deal encounter with God for you to know, like, God is real. But I'm here to tell you, I'm living proof. I'm a living testimony, and I will do some videos, but God is real. And I truly wish that I had built a relationship with God sooner in my earlier 20s, because I spent so much of my early 20s like in sin, and even my mid 20s in sin, doing what I wanted to do, living very worldly, thinking, oh, I'm just doing me. No, I wasn't just doing me. I was letting the devil use me. But I'm not gonna get too deep on this. We'll do a whole nother video on this, but that is number 2. Moving right along to number 3, stay physically fit and stay active. When I was in high school, I was active, right? Like, not super active, but like I would be like dancing and moving around and running and playing. So like I was always getting some form of exercise in, even if it wasn't actually me going to the gym. From high school, I went to the military. So in the Navy, you have to keep, I don't know how it is now, okay? Because I be looking at some people, y'all getting kind of big out there. You know what? Let me reel it back. But you know, when I was in the Navy, we had height and weight standards. So you had to be able to pass fitness tests. You had to stay within a certain weight class. You had to, you know, make tape, which every woman dreaded that tape coming out, okay? But what that did was motivate us to stay physically fit and active, okay? So once I got out of the military, I got out of high school, slowly, little by little, I stopped working out, which is partly what led me to get plastic surgery. Baby, I ain't do this for no man. I know they love to say women who get BBLs do it for a man and didn't, you know, but that's another video we'll discuss. But that was partly what led me to get plastic surgery, because I had looked up, it was after a relationship, when the scales fall off your eyes and you finally see, and I looked in the mirror, I said, hold on, baby. Hold on, because I know that ain't me with 3 chins and 2 back rolls. Hold on now. All I'm gonna say is stay physically active. Even after having surgery, if you, for whatever reason, choose to get plastic surgery, it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, I got plastic surgery, I never have to work out again. You should always prioritize going to the gym. Always prioritize doing some form of workout and, you know, staying active and staying fit. Because you need that muscle as you age. You truly do need that muscle for your body to stay fit and healthy. And although you might, you know, look good on the outside, you want to actually look good on the inside. You don't want to be dying at 30 something because you got too much cholesterol inside your body. So definitely stay physically fit, stay active, watch what you eat. Just take care of your body, because in the end, you only get one. Moving along to number 4, prioritize your mental health. Make that literally a priority. I struggled with mental health. Your mental health, I feel like it's always going to be a battle. It's always going to be an uphill battle. No, literally, it's always going to be a battle. And going back to number 2, having a relationship with God, that literally is what gets me through. The enemy literally is walking to and fro, studying you, trying to see, how can I get to her? How can I mess with her? How can I infiltrate? What can I do? What door could be open, right? So even if, like, we know the enemy's plan is to kill, steal, and destroy. So even if he can't, like, kill you physically, right? If you are walking around sad all the time, depressed all the time, just, you know, going through it, mentally lacking confidence, always feeling rejected, things like that, are you really getting the most out of life and what it has to offer? Absolutely not. Prioritize your mental health. It is okay to say no to people. It is okay to say no just simply because I don't feel like it. You know, you don't need a reason to say no. It is okay to not go places because they aggravate you, because they agitate you. It's okay. Put your mental health first. If you don't take care of your mental health, eventually it catches up to you. So make it a priority. And that leads me into number 5. Stop people pleasing. Stop people pleasing. Learn to set boundaries and say no. I realized that at this stage of my life, right, I am the villain in a lot of people's story. And that is okay. Like, I had to learn to be okay with being the villain. Because here's the thing. A lot of times when you are saying you're not going to people please people, meaning that I really don't want to do this, I feel a way about this, it makes me feel uncomfortable or whatever, XYZ, but I am just going to do it because it's what you want and it makes you feel good, but it tears off a little piece of me when I do it, but whatever you want. When you don't do that, all of a sudden you're a bad person. People talk about you. You might even lose friendships, you know? And I had to come to the realization that I am okay with that, okay? Like, I am okay with that. Listen, when people meet me, I set them boundaries early, okay? I set them boundaries early, baby. I did not come to play. I say no, okay? And I don't care who don't like it or who gets offended, honestly, because for me personally, I spent so many years as a people pleaser. Like, it took so much out of me to, like, I felt like my world was crumbling and like coming down if I had to say no to somebody, or if I had to tell somebody like, I don't like how they made me feel, or I don't like what they did to me. Oh my gosh, it just was so much like, oh, what are they gonna think of me? What are they gonna say? I don't wanna look like the bad person. I don't wanna, baby, you gotta, at a certain point in your life, I think I had just had enough one time. See, it's gonna take you getting to that point where you done had enough of being a doormat. When you done had enough of being a doormat, when you done had enough of being walked all over, when you realize that no matter how good you are to people, they still gonna talk about you and like a dog and stab you in your back, baby, something about it, the scales fall off your eyes and you wake up and you just be like, oh, heck no. Get out of your head and stop worrying about what people think, because 9 times out of 10, people not thinking about you, for one. And for 2, people who do think negatively about you because you set boundaries and enforce them, or you simply say no, that says more about their character than it does yours. And at the end of the day, are those really people that you should be caring about their opinions? It's so crazy when I sit back and think about my growth, because literally a few years ago in my 20s, I was that person that I was just like, I always have to present a certain way to the world, because that's just how I was raised, baby. First foot, best foot forward, always, you know. But the way I had translated that internally was I always had to put on this presentation for anyone, everywhere, anytime. You know, I had to be presentation ready at all times. And so even when it came to doing social media and posting on social media, baby, the things I have posted, listen, that's how you know it's growth, okay? I was so ashamed of like my hair. I would have never posted my hair. I used to never leave my house without makeup, let alone would I have came on a camera without makeup, okay? And now it's like I'm liberated. I had literally posted that I didn't have edges and that I got a hair transplant. I literally posted about my plastic surgeries. I've literally posted without makeup. I've literally posted in a bonnet before, which we don't make a habit of. But, you know, my whole point is, when you get out of your head and you literally stop worrying about what people think and what people might have to say, and you kind of just wake up and just realize like, hey, this is who I am, baby. I love me with no edges. I love me 217 pounds. I love me 150 pounds. It's like you kind of just don't care what people think. And it makes it easier for you to set and reinforce your boundaries and say, baby, I don't want to do that. No. It's no and, no because, no but, no. Moving on to number 6. Number 6 ties right into number 5, okay? Because number 6 is build your confidence. If I could give you any, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills right now talking to my little sisters, because you guys are so beautiful and you are literally like so amazing. And it's like sometimes you just can't see yourself how people see you, right? And I spent so much of my 20s, mind you, I should go find some pictures and put them in this video. I'm probably not though, because I was very worldly. But just know, you see how I'm looking today. You see what the material is. Baby, in my 20s, I was fine AF. Okay, I'm finer. I get finer like that wine that ages nice and tastes real good. Yeah, that's me. But in my 20s, baby, I was that girl. I was that girl. The thing is, I didn't know it. So you could be this like perfect, complete package and not know it. I had no idea who I was. Like I said, I was this woman who was whoever my boyfriends or friends told me I was. That's who I was. And so I didn't really have confidence in myself. To be honest, I didn't have confidence. For various reasons, I didn't have it. I struggled very strongly with a spirit of rejection. I struggled with low self-esteem. Like, it's almost like if you see who I am today, because I'm like super confident today. And really that type of confidence comes from God. And that's why I keep telling y'all, back to number 2, build that relationship with him, okay? But just, if you look at who I am today, and if you were to put her side by side next to who I was like in my very early, like, you know, mid to early 20s, it's like a 180. It's like night and day. Like, who is she compared? What, that was you? Because although I had the looks, although I had the body, although I had all of that, I didn't have the mindset. There are women who I talk to today in their 30s and their 40s, and they don't have confidence still. And to me, that really breaks my heart, because when I look at, you know, individuals, when I look at all of you, I'm like, wow, do you see who you are? Like, you're so fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, you are beautiful. Like, we're all unique. Like, we all have something special about us. And I think that our superpower is just being us. Don't try to be nobody else, because guess what? Nobody can be you. Nobody can do you like you do you, boo. I don't know, you know, my millennial is showing, because why did I just say that like that? I'm 30, okay? Give me a break. It really took a while for me to build my confidence, and once I got here, it was just kind of like, okay, why was I not here sooner? That goes back to like setting boundaries, stopping people pleasing. Like, all of that helps to build your confidence. If you want me to do a video on multiple ways that helped me build my confidence and what you can do to start building your confidence now and step into your higher self, be that girl that I know you are, sis, Go ahead and comment down below. Okay, number 7, and we touched on this a little bit earlier, but let's go ahead and get a little bit deeper into it, okay? Invest in your appearance. Being put together can literally open doors for you. People will treat you based off of how you present yourself. There are so many times that I have just been out in public, running errands, minding my business, and people have stopped me, have presented me with opportunities, have networked with me, invited me to events, all sorts of things, just because I was presentable and put together. And it doesn't mean that I had a face full of makeup. It just looks like I cared about my appearance. A lot of people was mad at Monique a few years ago when she made the comment about women wearing bonnets in the airports or out in public or wherever they were. And she was not wrong, okay? I personally, this is my opinion, deal with it as you will, okay? As a woman, you should never be out in public just looking a mess. That's just me. You should never be just waking up, running outside in your pajamas and with a bonnet on your head. You know, that lets people know that you don't really value yourself in certain areas. You didn't take the time, effort, or energy to put yourself together to even come to the store or to grab some food or to do whatever it was. So why would I take you serious? Someone who invests in their appearance, your eye is always going to be drawn to them. Your eye is always going to be like, what do they have going on? I want to know more about them, because most people are just rolling, you know, going day to day on a day-to-day basis, just throwing on a shirt, throwing on some jeans. The jeans might have a pizza stain on it from last week. You know, it's like people who actually take the time and put themselves together. That's a different level of self-love, I feel like. And when you love yourself, it's very evident. And people, it kind of sends like a signal to people where they know, okay, I can't step to you on a certain level, or I can't approach you with certain things because I see how you care for yourself. I see how you take care of yourself. There are multiple ways for you to invest in your appearance. Remember, we talked about going to the gym, staying fit, staying active. Putting in that time, that effort, and that energy is investing in your appearance, okay? Make sure you're investing in your wardrobe. You're looking put together. Invest in your skin. I struggled so badly with not so great skin in my 20s, and even now I still got hyperpigmentation, melasma, and all of that, but I am investing in my skin. I'm getting products that actually work. I'm getting my facials. I'm doing what I can. The whole point is just to invest in your appearance, because beauty is currency. I know people will like to say, you know, hey, don't focus on looks. It's not all about looks. But let's be real. Again, we live in a patriarchal society, and we live in a society where it is about looks, regardless of if people like to acknowledge that or not. Okay, so just invest in your appearance. Number 8, and this is super important. Oh my gosh, younger me, girl, you need to take note, okay? Be selective with the relationships you choose. And I am talking both platonic and romantic. The people in your circle, your friendships, your partners, your boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever, they can make or break you, okay? So you need to be very selective with who it is that you are choosing to associate yourself with. Most people know Kai Cenat. He is a streamer, and he is a guy who he made it big, and he basically put all of his friends on. And we see different, you know, situations like that happen all the time with various people. And it's like, you literally being connected to someone can elevate your life. Now, what I'm not saying to do is go out there and be a social climber where you're thirsty and you're desperate and you're trying to be, you know, friendly with anybody who you feel like got a little bit of clout. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is that your friends and even whoever you date should be elevating you in some way, and vice versa. You should be elevating your friends as well. When you're friends with people, naturally, you take bits and pieces of them, hopefully the good parts, and same with them, like they're taking bits and pieces of you. So there should be a two-way reciprocation. Like whatever it is, you should be gaining something from your friendships, whether it's motivation, whether it's encouragement, whether it's strategy, whatever it is. You should not just be hanging around someone and every time you with them, you're smoking hookah, you're drinking, you're getting drunk. Just because you're watching this video, I know the type of woman that you are and that you're going to be, and there's so much in store for you, right? So you don't need somebody that you're hanging out with that is encouraging you to make not so great decisions or do things that are out of your character and out of the will of God. So be very selective with who you are befriending and who you are letting to befriend you, because not everybody has good intentions. When it comes to dating, there are just certain rules that I feel like as well. You need to be very selective with who you are dating, because me personally, and my advice to all of you, especially while y'all are in y'all 20s, do not be out here giving your body away and just dating just for fun. I know people say, oh, like, let's just date. I'm just dating for fun. I'm dating for fun. Your 20s is your time to have fun. Maybe go read a book. Maybe go on vacation. Maybe go join a Pilates class or something. Like, you're just dating for fun. You're giving your time, your effort, your energy away for fun. Are you okay? Anyone you're dating, you should be dating with intention, which means that should be a potential husband. And if he's not that, you should not be entertaining him, sis. Okay? Be selective. Number 9, baby, this is one, I know I've been saying with each one, like, this is the most important one. For one, the one building a relationship with God is the most important one. But number 9 is extremely important, okay? Learn to be financially responsible. If you don't do nothing else, learn to be financially responsible. So I'm gonna give y'all a quick little short story. I joined the military right after high school. I joined at 18 years old. I came from poverty, not having a steady job, not having money for the things I wanted or needed, whatever, okay? So I went into the military as an E1, and those of you who know, you know, we don't get paid nothing. We ain't making no money for real, but your pay is consistent, right? So I think I was making, as an E1, I think I was making like $1,000 a month. I think I was making $1,000 a month. Or maybe I was making $800 a month starting off. Honestly, I don't know. The whole point is I wasn't making nothing, okay? But because I had a poverty mindset and I was coming from poverty to now I finally have a steady paycheck, every time I got paid on the 1st and the 15th, it was like as soon as the money hit my account, I had to go spend every single dollar out of my account buying everything I wanted. I didn't even necessarily need, like, I literally didn't need anything. I was just buying whatever it is I wanted. So food, every week I was at Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret buying new panties. And this is when it was 5 for $25, okay? Every week I was buying 5 panties for $25. Like, baby, it's only 7 days in a week. Okay, you can only wash your booty but so much. Like, why are you buying all these panties every week? But I was doing that. I was buying all the body sprays and lotions. I'm just buying bundles on bundles on bundles on bundles on bundles on hair. Like, I'm paying for my friends. I'm doing this because in my mind, it was like a poverty mindset. It was that mentality of, the money's here, you better spend it while you got it, because you know you don't normally have money like this. You don't have money consistently or steady. So, you know, spend it while you got it. And that became kind of like just what I was doing, just getting money, spending it, getting money, spending it, getting money, spending it, getting money, spending it, spending it, spending it. Then people started sending me stuff to get credit cards, because once you're in the military, they know, oh, you got that steady check, oh, you could pay us, you could pay us. So they started sending me to get credit cards, and after you done had your credit cards for a little minute, you could apply for increases. So I got all this like credit. I'm spending my checks every time they come. I gotta spend it to this. Then Navy Federal had this overdraft checking line of credit for $500. So not only am I spending all the money out my account, I'm spending the checking line of credit to where it's negative $500 every time I get paid. Y'all, just such a broke mentality. Oh my God. Like I told y'all, the old me and the new me is like a 180, because I would never. But yeah, so then I'm like maxing out credit cards. I'm doing all of this stuff. I look up. By the time my frontal lobe starts developing, I'm 20 something, look up, credit is shot. My credit, I didn't even know the credit bureaus go this low. My credit was like a 350 or 360 or something like that. My credit was low. Now I'm in the mid 700s, which is by the grace of God and a lot of work, okay? But my credit was so low. I really messed up my credit. And let me tell you, we live in a society where credit is everything. I don't know about other countries, but if you live in the United States, credit is very important, okay? And I had to learn that the hard way, unfortunately. So it took years of just repairing and rebuilding my credit based off of mistakes I made in my early 20s. The spending habits you create in your 20s will be basically the spending habits for the rest of your life. It's very hard once you get certain spending habits to break them. I'm telling you, as somebody who literally has lived through this, I broke a lot of bad spending habits because I really put the effort, I had to, okay, if you don't want to be a bum, if you don't want to be out on the streets, if you don't want to be doing certain things, you got to get this together. My spending was crazy. I can't even imagine, the checks that I'm getting now, if I was had them same spending habits and same mentality, I would just be blowing money. Get good spending habits, invest your money, get good credit, keep a savings, and you're gonna be good. Do all of that before you turn 30, because the older you get and you start trying to do all of that stuff, it only makes your life harder. And that brings me to number 10, which is always plan for the future, okay? If I could look back at my younger self in her 20s, I would definitely say, girl, you didn't set us up the way you should have, but you did what you knew to do because you didn't have nobody to tell you certain things. But looking back, I just know, life, it goes on. Life is all about moving forward. When that time is gone, we can't go back. I don't care how many movies they post about these time machines, they don't exist, okay? You get one shot at life and it's like a linear line. It just keeps moving forward. So any decision that you make today will affect you at some point down the road. Life is all about choices. Just like, if you decide for a whole week straight to just keep eating out and keep eating carbs and keep eating this and keep eating that, eventually it's gonna show up in your waistline, babe. That's gonna catch up to you. Versus if you say, I do want some cake today. I'm gonna, give myself some cake today, but tomorrow I'm gonna have a salad. Tomorrow I'm not gonna have a sweet when I eat dinner. Tomorrow, you have to make smarter decisions. You have to plan for the future. Just like when people have jobs, they get 401ks and have a retirement plan, because eventually we know by the grace of God, we will all grow old and we will need someone or some way to take care of ourselves. So just always think about the future and do not make temporary decisions or do not make lifelong decisions that are based on temporary pleasure. Just be smart about what you do, because it's gonna affect the future you. Look in the mirror, look at, envision the higher version of yourself, like the girl who you look at when you see yourself, that version you want to be, that she has it all. She has the life that you want. That's you. That's really you. This girl has the life that you want. She has the body you want. She looks the way you want. She has the relationship with God. She has the supportive friends. She has the man who loves her. Go through life as if you're already her, and the decisions that you're making today, will she make those decisions? The girl that you look up to, the girl that you aspire to be, would she be doing that? And if the answer is no, you probably shouldn't be doing that, babe. Now that was 10, but I got some more bonus ones for y'all, because y'all my little sisters and I love y'all so much, okay? So we're gonna give y'all a bonus. Number 11, find your purpose early in life. I feel like I recently just learned my purpose in the last year or so. Now that I'm looking back, I see that my life was already kind of moving in a certain direction and kind of aligned, because even though I wasn't always in God's will, I had my moments where I was in and out, hopping like a hopscotch, doing what I wanted to do. I'm with God, I'm backsliding, I'm doing all this and the other. And so I always was on this track of what he was trying to get me to, but now I fully know my purpose. And I feel like once you know your purpose in life, because we all have a God-given purpose, we all were created to do something and fulfill something on this earth in our lives. And I just know once you know what that purpose is, it makes life 10 times better, because you can go through life like doing things that align with that purpose, and you can kind of just know like, this doesn't correlate to my purpose, so it don't even make no point or no sense in even entertaining that. Or this person will pull me out of my purpose and pull me further away, so it don't even make no sense in entertaining them and being friends with them and just going to brunch and letting them be a brunch friend, you know? Find your purpose early in life. And to me, the only way you are going to find your purpose is by having that relationship with God and really going to God, going to your creator, seeking him like, God, what was I created to do? This is another bonus, number 12, okay? Watch your mouth. The things you say, the things you speak over your life. The Bible tells us it is life and death in the power of the tongue. So literally, things that I said years ago have came true and played out in my life. And I'm so grateful for that. Like, thank God that I've been speaking life and positivity, you know, over myself and to myself. But just watch your mouth, okay? If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. There were some gems dropped on y'all, okay? I know my younger self would have definitely appreciated these tips. And so I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and your takeaways in the comments below. Let me know whatever other videos you would like to see and like for me to touch on. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, babes.